When you think about evolution, how do you imagine it? What does it look like? Odds are you think about your own species, Homo sapiens, and where we come from. So, you probably picture evolution as a sequence of events like this one. This famous illustration is called the Road to Homo sapiens. However, it is more commonly known as the March of Progress. There are many versions of this illustration. Some are meant to convey science or knowledge. Others are meant for satire. And some are meant purely for humor. The original illustration of the March of Progress, however, was originally drawn by Rudolf Zallinger, an Austrian-Russian artist who immigrated from Siberia to Seattle in 1924 at the age of 5. After receiving a degree in fine arts at Yale University, he returned there to work at their Peabody Museum of Natural History as the artist in residence. He was there most of his adult life. At the same time, he enrolled as a fellow in geology to study for a number of famous projects, including his most famous work, The Age of Reptiles, which he completed in 1947 for the museum. The painting is a panoramic timeline which illustrates the evolution of reptiles over time, beginning during the Devonian around 400 million years ago and ending in the Cretaceous period around 65 million years ago. This painting alone took Zallinger nearly 5 years to complete because it is 7 feet or a little over 2 meters long, because he used a time-consuming painting technique called fresco secco, and of course, because before he could do any work on it, he needed to determine what the dinosaurs in his illustration might have actually looked like. The mural became one of the most iconic images in the field of paleontology, and it was even immortalized as a postage stamp. Zallinger would go on to produce other great paintings and murals, which have had a long-lasting impact on our understanding of Earth and life through time. But the most famous is probably The Road to Homo sapiens, which he created for the Time Life Company in 1965 for a special book on early man, which was being produced as part of their Life Nature Library series. Overall, the image illustrates 25 million years of human evolution, beginning with our ape-like ancestors and charting the rise of our bipedal ancestors like Australopithecus and Homo erectus. Although The Road to Homo sapiens is a popular and very well-known image, it is actually incorrect and highly misleading. Although Zallinger probably didn't intend for his work to have this meaning, it incorrectly illustrates evolution as a linear progression of changes that occur in one direction. We refer to this view of evolution as orthogenesis. According to this model, life forms have an innate tendency to evolve in one direction toward a state of higher complexity. This illustration from medieval times depicts orthogenesis as a staircase. The idea is, in each step of evolution, organisms take one step further up the evolutionary staircase, becoming more complex and superior in some way. Orthogenesis is like a staircase. We now know that this model, orthogenesis itself, is incorrect. Orthogenesis is an incorrect and debunked model of evolution. The causes of evolution are inherently random. Random alterations to genetic material create mutations which add variation to populations. Migration of individuals and interbreeding of individuals from different populations result in random changes in the genes of the populations themselves. And random events reduce the sizes of populations in unexpected ways, altering them randomly. In these ways and others, random processes cause evolution. So there is no reason why organisms must evolve from simple life forms into complex ones. They simply evolve randomly in whatever direction is favored by chance and circumstance. Perhaps the famous Harvard biologist Ernst Mayr said it best. It might be well to abstain from the use of the word orthogenesis. Many of the geneticists seem to be of the opinion that the use of the term implies some supernatural force. If the causes of evolution are inherently random, then there can be no supernatural force driving orthogenesis. For this reason, biologists tend to avoid linear, progressive, or directional models of evolution, and instead tend to prefer visualizing evolution with phylogenetic trees and cladograms that emphasize the many directions and dead ends of evolutionary change. With this in mind, let's revisit the road to Homo sapiens. Instead of looking at evolutionary history as a one-way road, picture it as a journey with many dead ends. We, Homo sapiens, and chimpanzees share a common ancestor that probably lived more than 5 million years ago. We, species, are alive and thrive today, but we are the exceptions. From our last common ancestor, evolution gave rise to many species that are now extinct. Paranthropus, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Neanderthals, among others. These extinct species are evolutionary dead ends. We aren't the culmination of evolution. We are simply the species that survived to the present. Evolution is inherently non-directional.